so much about that. It's a beginner's class, so please don't fret. It's going to be fine. I know that our tutor is going to do a great job. So I'll be introducing him now as we kick off. Uh, his name is Mr. Lawal. Mr. Lawal, at least the little that I know about him, is a seasoned tutor in the area of seasoned tutor and an expert in the area of data analysts and even the proper use and knowledge of data. So it will be taking us through the sessions. Like I said earlier, the whole program is for 4 weeks. The beginner's class is a beginner to intermediate class, and there's an outline module for it. It will be shared with us later in the lesson. So it's going to be a very great ride. So please, as much as possible, let us try as much as possible to listen. It's just 1 hour. So I believe we would have our rapt attention as we start off. So Mr. Lawal, you're welcome, sir. You're welcome, sir. Mr. Lawal, sir. Hello, Mr. Lawal, sir. So just give me a few seconds. I believe you will be with us. Okay, Mr. Lawal, are you there?
It's online.
Okay.
Hello, Mayo.
Hello, sir. I'm trying to get through to Mr. Lawal to start off the class.
So he's not yet online
No,
with us.
he's here with us. He's here with us. I'm trying to call him to get through.
All
He's
right.
here with us. Yes.
Yeah, good evening, everyone.
You.
Yeah, hello, good evening.
Good evening, sir. You're welcome.
Thank you. Sorry for the late. I was having mic issues with my gadgets. That's why. So today we are going to be running through the training class. So there are two things we are going to be doing. We are going to be working with two softwares, Excel and SPSS. And the reason being that we believe that these two particular platforms or softwares are very essential. But more important reasons why we're having this training is to see how we can actually play with little analysis if not at an expert level. And a module has been designed towards that. And I think before the end of this class, that will be shared so that we'll be able to know what we are going to be doing at every day of the class. So first of all, let me introduce myself to you. My name is Lawal Afis. I'm a statistician and currently running my PhD at the University of Ibadan. So, and this data analysis has been something I've been doing for over 9 years. So, initially, when we talk of data analysis, there is no software that you cannot use, in as much as the software is meant for analysis. There is no software that is the best. Just depends on what you are using it for. So, if you are a guru in using Excel, when you meet with someone that is using another software, you are an expert in the software you know, while the other person is an expert in the other ones you know, he knows. So what is the most important thing is that whatever you know, try to know it very well. And when it comes to system, or when it comes to data analysis, or anything that has to do with technology, most of them is what's called garbage in, garbage out. In most cases, when people try to run some analysis, maybe like little analysis, once you supply those information to the system to give you results. But most importantly, and most of the things we need to put into consideration is that what we have run, is it correct or wrong? And that is some of the things some of us does not know, and in which we are trying to, in the little time we have, we are going to be putting ourselves through some of these things and see how best we can manage one of these analysis in such a way that when we want to do our day-to-day activities, even when we are, for some of us that are students, we want to run some little research work, we can be able to do something before we can say, okay, let me go and give to someone that still know more than me. And for those of us that are not into the academics line, that we are into other businesses, it also is useful to us to at least do some little things to see, to checkmate what we are doing in our office, or maybe you want to do presentations, you want to do proposal writings. At least you still have to present some numerical figures, analysis, to ensure that whatever you are presenting is good. So these are reasons why we are actually putting this together, to ensure that we are not just stagnant, we are moving ahead. And no one is an island of knowledge, and you cannot know anything at a go. It's a step-by-step process. So as time goes on, we keep on learning and learning and learning. And one of the things we also have to put in mind is that whatever you learn in this training is not the final thing. You have to keep learning, because the person that will get the benefit of what we are doing now is someone that takes time to learn more. So because everything you need cannot be given to you in a day, you have to still keep learning and learning, updating yourself. So that's how you can know some of these things at a greater level. So that's what we are trying to do today. So in this section of the program, I'm not being the only one that will be taking these sections. I have my team member here who is going to be running us through a cell aspect of the work, while myself, I'm going to be going with the analysis, details of the analysis, and then also the SPSS aspects of the other software. So I'll be doing 2 in 1. So I'll be giving us some tips on how to run some analysis, and also some of the things, some of the limitations, some guidelines that when you are doing this is this is what you have to look into. When you are doing this is what you have to look to. So why he is going to be focusing more on the Excel aspect of the work. So not to waste much of our time because of the time constraints, I'll be introducing my colleague here that will be opening the floor to us today, which is Mr. Ibrahim. So Mr. Ibrahim is also a statistician, and also a graduate from a current graduate from at master's level from the University of Ibadan, from the Department of Statistics. So the two of us are grounded in the aspect of analysis, so you can ask questions if you don't understand. So and we are available to answer any questions at with our best of our abilities. So thank you once again. Welcome to today's class, and I believe that you are going to get something best out of this training as we go on. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Good evening, everyone. Hello. Good evening, sir. Good evening, ma.
Good evening, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
I'm
sir.
using this medium to welcome you to this class. My name is Ibrahim Sanusi, and I'll be the tutor for today's class. So today we'll be starting with introduction to Microsoft Excel. I believe everyone here today has a laptop. Let's start with that.
Yes.
And you says, hello, sir. Hello, ma.
We have.
Now, then after that, and I also believe that we have Microsoft Excel on our laptop. If we don't have Microsoft Excel, is a free software that we can get. It is we can get this for installation, and we can also get the software from engineer to install. Now, after successful installation of Microsoft Excel, for those of us that are having it already, first thing you do is to launch the Excel. To launch the Excel, you just double click on the software and then it comes up and pop up with something. I'll be sharing my screen now. Once you launch your Excel, the first thing it will bring, you are going to see it now on my screen. So let me start the presentation. Hello, please, can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, thank you very much. Now, launching Microsoft Excel, this is the first thing it will bring to you. Now, Microsoft Excel, it brings different formats. And as a beginner or as a new user in Microsoft Excel, the first thing you choose or where you go on to is to choose the blank workbook. I repeat, you choose the blank workbook. Once you launch your Microsoft Excel, you choose the what? Blank workbook. Now, after choosing the blank workbook, then you have something as displayed on the screen. Now, today, talking about Microsoft Excel itself, Excel is just the intersection of rows and columns. In a simple definition, what is Excel? Excel is a powerful tool that is used in different industries, business, finance, and engineering for various activities. We can use Excel for calculations. We can use it for data organization. We can use it for visualization, and also we can use it for data analysis. Now, moving on to Excel interface. Now, Excel have different interface. This is the interface of the Microsoft Excel, and in Microsoft Excel file, there are two things you need to know which are different. We have workbook and we have a worksheet. A worksheet is embedded in a workbook. As you open a Microsoft file, then you have a workbook already. Like what I open now, this is a file and this is also a workbook. And like I said earlier, in a workbook, you have a worksheet. So a workbook is just the file in which all Excel data are stored. Are you with me?
Yes,
Hello.
Yes, sir, we are with you.
Hello.
Please continue.
Okay, thank you very much. Now, a workbook is the file in which all the Excel data are stored. Where inside this workbook, we have different worksheets. For example, now, if you check towards the down of the screen, you see something like sheet 1. That is a Microsoft worksheet. And in this worksheet, you can add, you can delete, and you can rename a sheet. Three things you can do with Microsoft worksheet. You can add. How can you add Excel worksheet? Beside that sheet 1, you see something like an addition sign. If you click on that plus, you see something like new sheet. Once you click on it, then it creates a new sheet. then it creates as many as you want. The more you click, the many or the plenty the worksheet it creates for you. Now, how can you delete a sheet? Let's say you don't, you are no more interested in this sheet 4. If you want to delete this sheet 4, just right-click on it. Once you right-click on it, it brings different options. Then you can do what? You can delete it. Are we together?
Yes, sir.
Yes, we are.
Yeah. Now, so that's that about deleting a worksheet. The same way you deleted a worksheet, you can also rename a worksheet. Let's take, for example, I want to rename this sheet 1. Right-click on it again, then click on rename. Once you click on rename, you can clear the former one, then you can type a new name. Let's say practical 1. Then I've succeeded in what? Renaming sheet 1. If you want to rename sheet 2 again, right-click on sheet 2, then you rename it to what you want. Let's say I want to rename it as practical 2. So that is that about adding, deleting, and renaming a worksheet. And like I said earlier, don't forget, a worksheet is embedded in what? In a workbook. And the file you open is already your what? Is already your workbook. Now, let's now talk about the Excel interface. In Excel interface, we have the title bar. Where are the title bars? The title bar is where is located at the top of the screen, at the top of the workbook, where you have something like file, home, insert, page layout, and so on. So that place we call it what? The title bar. Now, if you go downward, you see something like paste, cuts, font, wrap text, and so on. In that second line, we call it the menu bar. At the same time, we also have the what? We have the quick toolbar. The quick toolbar, it is located where we have below that menu bar, we can call that the quick toolbar. Why do we call it quick toolbar? Instead of going extra mile before you can get what you can do, if you click on any of those menu, then you can get anything you want to do as fast as possible. In that place now, for example, I click on font. Instead of me right-clicking and then looking for different options, here now it will take me to where I can justify, I can format cell easily without any stress. So that's that about that. All these title bar and the menu bars, they have their own usefulness. And as time goes on, as we are using it, we get to know the usefulness of each menu. So now, let's now move on to the Excel per se. Now, before we move on, sorry, after the title bar, then we have something like the formula bar, where you have, after we have the X, you have something like mark, you have f of x. Then inside this empty sheet where I'm clicking right now, that is the formula bar. Any operation you are performing in Microsoft Excel, any calculation you have done, then the formula will be shown or will be displayed at where I click now, which is the formula bar. Now, how is Excel operated? Excel operates with what? Rows and column. The primary way you can treat Excel is by what? Rows and column. The rows are run horizontally, and they display they are displaying in figures, like you have 1, 2, 3, and so on, while the columns are run vertically. Rows are run horizontally, while the columns are run vertically. The columns are run in alphabet, while the rows are run in what? In figures. Like we defined Excel before, we said Excel is the intersection of what? Rows and column. Now, if I click on any cell now, for example, where I'm clicking right now, if I want to ask anything on this particular cell, I will say what? This is cell A1. I will pronounce it with what? Row and column. I won't say row 1 only, because this is Excel. It will be pronounced together with the alphabet as what? A1. If I click here now, then this is what? Cell B2. Clicking here now, this is what? This is cell C1. So, and so on and so forth. And Excel have unlimited rows, the same thing as columns. Even if you reach A to A, B, C, D up to Z, we still have double alphabet like AA, AB up to AZ. After reaching AZ again, it starts from BA, BB, BC, and so on and so forth. Now, how do we now use this Excel component? Let's start from creating a new workbook. How do we create a new workbook? If you want to create a new workbook, what you do is to go to File. If you click on File, then you will see New. From here now, click on Blank Workbook again. Then you have already succeeded in creating a new workbook. If you notice before, what we have before is book 4 or book 2. Now we have book 6. For you to be sure now, this is book 6. If you click on File and click on New again, it will create another workbook. And the shortcut for creating that, instead of you going to File, you can easily press Ctrl N on your keyboard. Press Ctrl, then you press N. If you press Ctrl N, if you check at the top of the interface now, you see that this is now what? Book 7. We have successfully created a new workbook. So creating a new workbook now, inside this new workbook, we can still create another worksheet. It depends on what we are doing. Now, moving on. So let's now move on. So inside that file again, here you can save your document. After you are done doing any activities you want to do, you can save your document here. You can open an existing document here. As you can see, when I click on open, you can see all my previous work. It will be displayed. Then if you scroll down, you can see previous work. Then you can open from there. Now, let's now move to how to use this Excel per se. How do we use this software? Now, to use Excel software, Excel can be used to enter different things. We can use Excel to enter text. We can use Excel to enter numbers, which are numeric. We can use Excel for dates, and so on and so forth. For example, let's say for my A1 now, I want to create name of let's just say name of anything. I have name. Then after you are done entering any object in a cell, for you to proceed, then you press enter. If you press enter, then it takes you to the next to the next row. That is one. Another thing is that if you don't want to use enter, then you can use the arrow button on your laptop. We have the top arrow. We have the top arrow, we have the bottom, we have the left side, and we have the right hand side. If I use the top now, I'm using my keyboard now. If I use top, then you can see that it is going up. I press down arrow again, it comes down. I press the left, it goes left. I press the right arrow, it goes to the right. So what we are trying to say here is that to navigate around Excel workbook, you can still use your arrow key on your laptop. Now, let's say we have name. So we can type any name. Let's say we have Ade, we have Tolu, we have Titi, and we have Sade. Let's stop here now. So I have 4 names now. Let's say we want to talk about their age.
Sorry, Mr. Sanusi, we seem
Okay.
not, your screen is not synchronizing what we are seeing on our side. Maybe you can share and present.
You say?
You can just on screen.
Share your
stop
screen.
Share
Okay, you
your
cannot
screen.
see my screen.
Yes.
What you are
Okay,
typing,
let me
you
stop
can't-
sharing and reshare again. So can you see it now?
Yes, yes, you can see those things.
Yes, you can see it now.
Okay, thank you very much. So now I have age. So let's say Ade is 12 years old. Then you can press 12 easily, just 1 and 2. Then press enter. Tolu is 13 years old. Titi is 10 years old. Press enter. While Sade is 15 years of age. Now, let's now assume I want to enter height now. I want to compute what? Height of these 4 respondents. Now, let's now assume that height was supposed to come before age. This is where we are going. Height was supposed to come before age. You don't need to delete age before you can enter height. So what I'm trying to introduce here is how you can insert a new column. Here, you can insert a new column even right before that age without deleting that age. At the same time, you can also insert a new row even without deleting any row before. If you want to insert a new row, now, I want to insert a new row before age. Then click on that cell of that age. As you can see, once I click now, then right click, then you will see insert. If you click on insert now, you will see that it has successfully insert a new column. So here now I can then enter height without deleting previous column that I have before. Please, are we together?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can you hear me? Come again, please. Okay. Now we want to compute the height. This is the height of the respondent. Now, let's say this is Ade is, let's say, 1.2 feet. Tolu is 1.7. Titi is 1.4. And Sade is 2.3, for example. Now, the way we did, as we insert a new column, we can also insert a new row. Now, if I click on Titi now, as you can see, if I want to insert a new row also now, I will right click again and click insert. Once again, I repeat, click on the if you want to insert above, then click on the row where you want to you want that new row to come, then right click, then insert. Then you have a new row inserted. Here now I can have Bala and I can have Bulaba. So I can have their height to 1.4, 2.5. And this, they say 20 and 23. So here now we have successfully what? Insert a new row and a new column. Now, after doing this, we can also what? We can format our test. How do we format test? We can bold the names, the headings. We can put them in bold. We can design the cell as much as we can. So it depends on what we want. Now, if you want to format any cell, what do? Highlight that particular cell. So let me say I highlighted the what? The name, the height, and the age. If I want to talk about the cell now, I will say I highlighted cell what? A1, cell B1, and cell C1. So in that case, if someone asks us now, what is the range of the cell being highlighted? The range of this cell is from what? From cell A1 to what? C1. That is the cell range. Cell A1 to cell C1. Now, if I want to bold this one now, I've successfully highlighted it. Then you can come here to the, where I place my cursor now. Then you click bold. That's one way. If you want to bold again, the shortcut key to bold now, if you highlight another, let's say I highlighted the names. If I want to bold, the shortcut key, instead of me coming here to click on this B, then I can also press Control B. Sorry. Then I press Control B. Control B works also for what? To bold element. So talking about formatting cells, you can bold, you can put it for italic, you can put it for underline, you can do the alignment. So that you can do anything depending on what you want. So that is how you can format cell. And if I want to change the cell color also, I can change the color for this. Now, if you come here, you will see where I'm placing my cursor now. We have fill color. So if you click here now, we have different color. Click on that arrow, then it displays the theme color. You can select any color of your choice. Select any color of your choice. If I click red now, you see it changed that name cell to what? Color red. If I should highlight another cell now, if I should come here again, click another one, then I have a new color. Come here again, click another one, then I also have, I have another color. So that is that about the background color. And also, we also have the what? The font color. There is difference between the background color and the font color. The font color is just to change the color of your what? Of your text. The text are what? The character you've typed in your on your Excel worksheet. So the character you've typed, if you want to change the color of those texts, that is when you use font color. But if you want to change the color of the whole cell, that is when you use what? You use the what? The fill color. That one will change the background as it has been displayed. Not only color or not only text you can format. You can also format what? You can also format numbers. Are we together? You can also format numbers. Are we together, please?
Sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So you can also format numbers. How can you format numbers? You can put it for percentage, you can put it for decimal, you can put it and so on. Depends on your choice. Now, there are two ways at which you can do this formatting. If I click on this, I click on this cell C2 now, which is what? Figure 12. If you want to change the format, if you right click on that cell, you will see what? Format cell. So if you click on format cell now, you can see different font format that you can change depending on your choice. That is number one way of formatting. But remember the last time we talked about what? When we were introducing all this interface, we call something the quick toolbar. The quick toolbar is telling us that what? Where you can get something done very fast without you going extra mile. For example, now, instead of me right-clicking, stressing myself, going to format cell, where we have here now, you can see number. So from where I'm dragging my cursor now, here now you can do anything on what? How you can format your numbers. Where we have general, we have everything. You can change anything of your choice. If I want to convert this to currency now, I will just click here. We can see different currency. Are we together? So if I
Sorry, sir, your slide is not showing. We can't see the movement of your cursor. Thank you.
then I go there, then I select euro. So you can do everything at once, not that you'll be doing it one after the other. So are we together?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So
Yes.
that's that about that. So in order not to waste much of our time so that we can still do new things, let's proceed to basic operations in Excel. What are the basic operations in Excel? We have the sum where we do our calculations. These basic operations, they are basically the what? The calculations. For example, if you are asked now, what is the total height of the respondent? You are using Excel. You don't have to you don't need to go and be finding or looking for extra calculator again. Excel itself is a calculator itself. Excel itself is a what? Is a calculator for you. Now, if I want to find the total height now, let me just say total here. As we all know, total is just the sum of all the numbers. Now, in Excel, before you perform any operation like calculation, please get me clearly. Before you perform any calculation in Excel, there is a syntax that is very important that you must press. You know what we have been doing before is just data entry. So if you want to perform any operation or any calculation in Excel, the syntax or the command you must first of all enter is equals to. If you don't press equals to, then Excel cannot do any calculation for you. So if I want to find the sum of all the height now, first of all, I will press equals to, and then the command follow. The command to find the sum is just to type what? Sum. S-U-M. So before you finish typing it, Excel will have predict it for you. Will have predict different things like, what do you want to do? I want to find what? Sum. Let me come again. So if you don't want to use the automatic way, let's just say I type sum, whether in capital or in small. After typing sum, then you open a bracket. Type sum, then open bracket. Now, what are the range of values that I want to add together? I want to add, like I said earlier, remember, if you want to refer to a particular cell, you call it together with what? Rows and column. Like where we have 1.2 now. Please, can somebody tell us where we have 1.2? 1.2 is in cell what? If we are together, please.
B2.
B2. Thank you very much. So if you want to call for 1.2 now, we can just say what? Just type B2. I want to select the range I want to add together. So I can just say B2, then you put colon. Colon I'm using here, you press shift and you press colon. That's dot dot, not semicolon, no, colon. So B2, you put colon, then where do we have 2.3? Anybody, please?
B7.
So that is B7. Then we type B7. So as you can see, as I'm selecting or as I'm calling for those cells, it is what? It is highlighted by itself. I said B2 to what? B7. Then it highlighted what? B2 to B7 itself. Then you can then close the bracket. Once the bracket is closed, just press enter. Once you press enter, then you have the sum of all the numbers you have been doing. So the sum of all the height now is what? 10.5. So the same thing applicable. Let's try it again here. If you want to find the sum of this age now, normally we know age is not supposed to be in currency, but we only use that currency as an example. Are we together, please?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So that when you are doing your own practice, please let's work with it well, because we know that. Can you hear me, please?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we know that each variable has its own unit. So let's make sure.
Ibrahim, please unmute yourself. You are muted already.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes,
Yes,
you
sir.
can
Yes,
continue.
we can hear you now, but your screen is off.
Please reshare your screen.
Okay.
Your screen is off, sir. Okay.
Can you see it now, please?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Now, let's now moving on. Let's find the sum of the age. For us to find the sum of the age, then we repeat the same command we just do now. Remember, we said the first thing we do if we want to perform any operation in Microsoft Excel is to use what?
Equal to.
Equals to. Thank you very much. Then we use equals to. Then you type what? Sum. S-U-M. Once you type sum, then you open bracket. The range where we have 12.00 is what? B2. Oh, sorry. Now, let's see something now. I said the cell where we have 12.00, I said B2, of which it is very wrong. Instead of B2, it was supposed to be what?
C2.
C2. Thank you. So once you select a wrong cell, even yourself, you will see it. It will be displayed for you. I said B2 instead of C2. Now it makes 1.2. So you can easily correct yourself with Excel. So I have C2, then put the colon again, C2 to C7. Then you close the bracket and you type enter. So that is how to find the sum. So now, that is that about that. That is the manual way. Now, how do we use the automatic way? Are we together?
Yes.
Now, to use the automatic way, then what you just do is that what? Go to formulas. Click on formulas at the title bar. Once you click on formulas, then you will see you will see something like auto sum. In that auto sum, if you click down the arrow, you will see different command. You see different command, then you can click on your sum. But before you use that auto sum, the first thing you should do is to highlight the cell you want that auto sum to perform operation on. I repeat, if you want to use the automatic sum, before you do that, you should what? You should use what? You should highlight the cell. Let's go horizontal wise now. Let's say I want to find the sum of height and age. So let me just highlight this now. If I click on auto sum, it will generate the sum for me. 1.2 plus 12 now gave me 13.2. Are we together now? So if you highlight the second cell the same way, if you click on auto sum, then click on sum, then it will give you another sum. Are we together?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. So that is that about the sum operation. Now, the next thing, how do we perform the average? The next thing we'll be talking about is the average. We already know that average is just the what? Is the mean. The mean of our values. A single value that summarizes a set of numbers. Now, if you want to perform the average now, like we did before, press equals to. The syntax for average is still average. The syntax for average in Excel is average. Just type average. Before you finish it, it will have predicted itself. If you want to use the one that it has already been predicted, then you can double click on it. Once you double click on it, it will open a bracket for you already. Instead of you typing it, and putting the bracket to yourself, once you double click, then it will put what? It will put the bracket automatically. So now, like we did earlier, from cell what? B2 to what? B7. You can also type B2, then you put column, then B7 highlighted. Then you close the bracket, then enter. So the average height now is what? 1.75. Now, if I want to find the average of that of age, press equals to, then average. So once you type average, if you double click on it again, now, if you want to select row, there's another way at which we can select the range of our values. Instead of me typing B2 to B7, you can just highlight and drag the cell you want to use. I click on B2 now, then highlight and drag it down. So as you can see, it is selecting by itself. By what? Clicking, and then you drag down. This is how I click on it again, and you drag down. So automatically it will compute from C2 to C7 because that is the range of the cell that has been selected. Once I close it now, press enter, then I have my average age. Now, if you want to use the automatic way again for the average also, once you highlight it highlight the cell you want to find the average. Go to that where you have AutoSum. Click on the arrow, that small arrow you see at that AutoSum. Click on that arrow, then you will see average. Click on average, then you will have the average value of any number you want to calculate. So that is that about average. Now, there's another thing we call count. So let's say we have more than this sample. Let's say we have like 1,000, 1 million samples. If you want to know the number of your samples without any stress, what you use is to use count. You use what? Count. Press equals to, then type count. Once you type count, open bracket in front. Like I said earlier, it's either you type the count completely and open bracket yourself, or once you type and it predicted it for you, once you know what you want to do, just double click on that syntax you want to use and then drag the number of cells you want to check the count of the numbers. So from B2 to B7 now, I don't need to go there and be saying 1, 2, 3. I can just use count to know the number of samples I am having. Close the bracket now. Then I have that what? From cell B2 to cell B7 contain what? 6 samples. Please, are we together?
Yes.
So that is that about count. Now, the same way we perform other operation, we can also do some simple addition and subtraction. Now, if we want to do addition, before we did the total sum, so we can still do addition of numbers that are not together. Let's say I want to add cell B2 and cell B6 together. Just type equals to. Are we together? Once you type equal to, click on the first cell you want to add, B2, then plus, you can use your normal plus sign, shift, and then where you have equals to B2 plus, let's say, this, B2 plus B7. Then you can click on enter. And you can add more than 2 elements equals to, let's say, B2 plus B4 plus B7. B2 plus B4 plus B7. Then you click on enter. That is what? Addition of numbers. The same way we perform addition of numbers, we can also perform subtraction of numbers. How do we go for subtraction? To do subtraction, the same way you do for addition, you can also do subtraction. Now, there's something else I also want to see here. How do you balance yourself? As you can see, as I type that subtraction, it has exceeded column A. Are you with me? Hello?
Yes.
If you notice that subtraction, you will notice that it has exceeded its own column. So if you want to balance it up, just move your cursor to the top of that cell. As you can see now, before I move the color, you can see that I have a white cursor. See, as I'm dragging, I have a white cursor. But if you have moved it to where you are supposed to have it, then you have a black cross sign. So once you have it, just double click on that cell. It will automatically expand and give you a balanced cell as we have it now. Now, if you want to perform subtraction of numbers, then press equals to again. Then I can say the total, that is B8 minus the average. That's B8 minus B9. Then I have my answer. The same thing applicable here equals to.
Ibrahim, your screen is off.
My screen is off. Okay.
Try to come up again.
Can you see my screen now?
Yes, it's coming up. Yes. Then continue.
Okay, thank you. So now, as we've done before, now if I want to perform the subtraction here again, I can say cell C9 minus cell, let's say C6. then I have my result. You can also do more than one subtraction. Even if you want to correct what you have done before, you can just double click. Once you double click, it will give you in an addition mode, then minus another cell. Then you have it this way. And you can also do mixture of sign. C9 minus C7 minus C6 minus C7, then plus C4. So that is that about that. Now, before I click enter, when we were starting, we introduced a cell, we introduced a line as the formula bar. As you can see, all the formula I'm typing here, you can see it at the top of the interface. Below the what? Below the quick toolbar. As you can see, C9 plus C8 minus C6, C7, C4. So even if you have done something and someone is not with you before, if anybody wants to understand how you obtain this 10.5, once the person click on this 10.5, the formula will be displayed. Even if you are not there, he or she will see or will understand how you have gotten that 10.5. And that is that about subtraction. So the next thing is division. So for you to do division, as you already know, so just press equals to, then let's say the total, you use slash for division, divided by pieces. Then we press enter, then you have your result. The same thing applicable again. You can use equals to this divided by this, and then you press enter to have your result. So the same way we have been doing for this, you can also do your multiplication also that way. So you can perform any operations, whether all these trigonometry formulas, everything can be done with your what? With your Excel. Not only addition and subtraction can be done with Excel, but as time goes on, you will also understand how these are being done. And lastly, to round it up, there's something we call autofill. How do we do autofill? Autofill is done if you've entered, if what you are doing has a pattern, then you can do autofill. For example, let's say we want to generate days in a week, days. So if I type now Monday, are we together? Are we together?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So once I type
The
Monday
screen
now,
is off.
I then click on that cell where you have Monday. If you move your cursor to where you have that Monday, at that edge where you have something like a square, move your cursor to where you have that square, then you see that the cursor will change to black cross. Before we have something like white, but if you move it to where you are supposed to place it, then it will change to black. So if you drag it down, then it will autofill your cell for you. Therefore, you can have something like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and so on. The same thing applicable to months. So if you want to compute months in Excel, you don't need to start typing January. January, then again you go ahead, February, March. No, click on January, move to where you are, place your cursor at the edge where you have that square again, and it change to black. Then drag it down, then it will automatically fill the cell for you. Then you can have January, February, March, then up to December, depending on what you want to do. So I think with this, so I think we are able to learn one or two things tonight, and as time goes on, we'll be understanding more on how to use the Microsoft Excel and its component for calculations, data analysis, organization, visualization, and so on and so forth. Thank you. God bless you all for listening.
Thank you, Mr. Ibrahim, for this wonderful presentations. Thank you. Please, if you have any questions for him, at the chat box, I have a question. The question is that if we have millions of numbers to calculate in rows, are we going to keep scrolling down if we are using count formula? So, Mr. Ibrahim. For questions of such, what do they do? Because, for example, when you are giving your examples, you just highlighted like maybe 6 counts. But about
Okay.
it, they have series of numbers.
So
that
if you
are
have series of numbers, you don't need to start highlighting down. Just press equals to, then type count. Once you click count, then the cell where it is starting from, let's just say from B1, then from where it is landing, then the last cell where you have the number, then just type the last cell, then you close it, and it will give you the sample size, whether in billions or in millions. You don't need to highlight before you get the count. Just type the cell inside that bracket, then you have the count of your data. Thank you. Hello, please. Any other question?
All right, please. Are there other questions as we round off? Someone is asking, please, how did you make name column?
How did I make?
I think it's the title of each column.
The title of the column. Okay, how I change the format, right?
Yes. How you
Okay.
named them.
Okay. First thing, okay, let me do it again. We have name. We have name. Please, let's concentrate. We have height. And we have age. So, talking about cell format, this is what we call formatting. So, just click on the cell you want to format. Let's go back to home, because where this is done is home. Every ribbons has their own usefulness. Every title you see here has their own usefulness. Now, the way if I want to design this name again, the way I have it here, first of all, I bold it. After bolding it, then I go to where we have font. Here, this is where you can format your font. You can do anything here. Are we together? You can do anything here. So if you go to that fill color, like I said before, there's difference between fill color and font color. Font color is to change the color of the character, while fill color is to change the cell color, the background color. So from here now, I just pick this color. I think, okay, this color. So that is how we change that of the name. And if you go to height again, bold it, then go to that fill color. Then you can also pick any color of your own choice. Pick it here, go to age. If you reach age, then do the same way, bold, and then you put the design. So this is not telling us that this is the only format we can do. We can also use different color of our own choice. Not only background color, you can also change the text color. For example, let's look at this age now. If I want to take the character color, then I will come to this font color. Then I can change it here, as you can see. So it will change to any color. So as you can see, the color of that age now is changing. So I have age in red instead of the automatic way that we have it before, which is black. So if I want to bold this one now, I bold it. So what I did for age is different from what we did for height and name. For height and name, we did what? We did fill color. While for age, we did font color. So that is how it was designed. And if I want to put background for that age also, I can also put it if I want. So it depends on how you want your interface to look like. So any other question?
All right, I think we just take this last two. Someone is saying that can we change the currency? I think the currency on that the height column, that age column. I mean the currency. That's what the person is asking about.
Okay, are you
And
saying
also,
how we add the currency?
yes, if it's changeable, the person is asking, can we change the currency?
Yes, it is
Yes, please.
changeable. Definitely, you can change it. If I want to change the currency from euro to any other thing now, I will just highlight the cell, or even if it is only one I want to change it, I can change for only one, and at the same time I can change the whole currency. So if I want to change the whole currency now, I will highlight the cell I want the currency to change, then go to where we have numbers, where I'm placing my cursor now. You will see something like currency accounting number. So you can change it to anything. Let's say I want it in dollars. So as you can see now, it is now changing to dollars. Even if you have put it in dollars before, you can still change it to naira. So it depends on what you want to do. So it is changeable. Excel is an editable software. So it is not something like once you've done it before, you cannot edit it again. It is editable. So that's that about that. So to change that, you can change that here where we have a format. And if you don't want to use here, just highlight the cell. Once it is highlighted, then right click and click on format cell. Once you click on format cell, so click on number. Once you have number, this is currency. So you can change it to any currency. So you can, as you can see, we have different currency. It is very plenty. We even have naira, Yoruba naira, Kanuri naira, Igbo naira. So we have different currency. So, but where we have been changing it before, that is just the quick way. That is the what the shortcut to, instead of coming to where I'm just coming now. You know, for me to come here now, I have to click on what? I have to right click, come to format cells before I have this. But instead of that, I can just come here, just use the currency. But this is not only the currency. As you can see, you can click more accounting format. Once you click that, then you see as many as possible currency of your choice, which is changeable.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sanusi. The last one for tonight. Someone said you should just quickly recap that of the subtraction, how to subtract.
Okay, for subtraction, if you want to subtract, like we said earlier, before you can perform any operation in Excel, the first syntax you should enter is what? Can someone please remind us?
Equal to.
Yeah, thank you very much. You press equals to. Once equals to has been entered, then click on the cell you want to subtract. Let's say I want to subtract C8, then minus the other cell I want to subtract, C6. C8 minus C6. Then you press enter. And like I said earlier, you can subtract more than one cell. It's not necessary to be only one cell. Then I can still say minus C4 minus C2 and so on and so forth. Then you press enter. So that is how subtraction is being done.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sanusi. Thank you so much, Mr. Lawal, for tonight. We are grateful. I don't know if Mr. Lawal has one or two things to say as a close.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone, for your time. And I believed we have gained one or two things from this presentation. As I said earlier on, when I was starting my introduction, I said you cannot know it all, but the little you know, just try to ensure that you know it at the best level, so that even if it is even the basics, you can lay your hands on. It is still better than saying you want to know this, know that, know just jack of all trade is not good. So I know that some of us here might have known Excel more than this level, yes, but there is no way, no matter how the level you know something, even you still get something to reckon with, that is to gain from this the smallest information you have gotten tonight. So this is just the beginning of the training. If you look at our chat box, I drop a link there. That link is the model we are going to be working with, so that you'll be able to know what we are coming up with in our next training class.
Okay.
Done today. You understand? The lecture we have done today, we already have a document for that, so which will be shared across so that you can also go through it, and then there's an exercise there. We can perform the tasks, and in the next class when you're having Excel, you can ask questions, because in our next class we are going to be dealing more on data analysis. At least, what are the rules, what are the things you need to put in place, and then we are also going to be enlightening ourselves on the SPSS, which I will be piloting that particular aspect. So I know that we have a lot to say, but because of the time factor, let me just submit my statement for now. So as time goes on, we are going to discuss more and more, because I don't want to be repeating what he has said, but I know as time goes on, we are going to be putting everything together, and I believed before the end of this training class, we'll be able to see and also be able to say confidently that we have actually learned something from this class. So thank you, everyone, and I wish you all the best.
All right. Thank you so much, sir. So everyone will see again on Thursday, same time on Thursday. Please let's try as much as possible to join on time so that we can gain more grounds as we move. Thank you so much. See you on Thursday. I guess, please.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you.